here with the one and only Lilibeth Nieto. We are going to talk about the Chicago Courage Challenge. And the cool thing is, I started yesterday and she's starting it today. So we had some false starts, to say it like that. So things are going to be a little bit rough, or they were. And well, that suits the theme of the second letter of Chicago for me, because my second day, which is higher levels. And today is her first day, which is about courage. Now, I'm going to switch real quickly so I can actually get this on Instagram too. So, yes, it's there, I think. I can see myself. Yes, so that's good. And I'm back here. So, well, hello. So, you went live on Facebook,
Mhm.
and the goal was that you were going to add me. Well, I haven't gone live on Facebook before, so I didn't know what to do. And I think there might have been a problem cross referencing between personal pages and business pages. So that might have been a problem. So I know that um, it has been said that I should be able to not just add you on here. So that's on my Facebook, on my Instagram, and on my YouTube. But you should be able to actually also connect it to your Instagram and your Facebook. So, yeah, um, we didn't find out, or we haven't found out yet, how to do it, but there's a start for everything. And that actually brings me to the age from today, which is higher levels. So what the both of us are doing today is taking things to the next level. And I already have been doing so, working on my opt-in page earlier today, so people can actually get to sign up, but I'll talk about that later. So let's start with your C from courage. So we ended up last time having you on the hot seat.
Mhm.
And then there you said it, I'm going to do my own Chicago Courage Challenge. So, what is your challenge about? Let's start with that one.
So, as a caregiver, I am a caregiver for a long time, century. Yes, I'm a century egg. But anyway, it was my goal. It was my mission to share the experiences of a caregiver and how one can achieve their goals, their dreams, and whatever personal ambition they have, because it doesn't end to be in a caregiver uh, passion of helping people, families, children, raising children of other people. So I believe that they are have a purpose in life. So that's why I hop in when you put me in a hot seat. I readily say yes. I will accept it because that's probably the reason why I am here.
So, what is your goal and your dream as a caregiver? Because you just said it can vary among people.
Yeah, I came from Philippines, and mostly families in Philippines have one or two member of the family that is working outside the country as a overseas Filipino worker. And I started when I was just 22. So my dream, actually, personally, I dream to be an author. I want to be a speaker. I want to speak up and speak out. That's why I was with you, as you are my honorable coach. I'm so honored to be one of your student. And but before that, I'm not like this. I don't know how to speak. I'm very shy, coming from a country where parents doesn't want children to join conversation of adult, uh as a part of a culture. This is not normal. Children, when they parents have guests, they supposed to be hiding somewhere, or yeah, and they don't need to talk in the middle of the conversation because that's rude. So with that in mind, with that kind of training, growing up, that's hard to speak up and speak out when you think that you could be in jeopardy with how you behave, right? So that's why my mission is not only for caregivers to have a voice, but to live their dream, to live their life that is really designed for them, because all of us came here not with the same b- of destiny, right? We have different destiny, and we need to really live it 100% to the maximum level as we speak now, because life is here, life is now, and is might not be able to have the chance to do it again when we let it just pass by.
Okay, in case you're thinking, why is she not looking at me in the camera? So apparently, someone posted something on Facebook just now, and I want to see what the comment was, but unfortunately, I cannot see it. So I wanted to share it with you. So I'm just going to leave it for what it is.
Mhm.
But two questions. Well, one is actually more something that I totally understand. So you shared that in the Asian culture, it's not normal to speak up. You actually need to be quiet. We talked about that a lot. So that's one thing I want to talk about. And
Mhm.
the other thing which struck me is you said that basically most people from a family actually go abroad to take care of the family in the Philippines.
Mhm.
So let's start with the latter because that then we're talking about a huge responsibility. So are we talking about the daughters in the family? Who are the people you are chosen to go abroad, or is it something that you have got a calling? How do I see it?
Okay, most of us doesn't have a like a riches, we call it, like we we live day by day. We scratch the surface, and whatever we have, that's for the good of the day. Like, and I have a parent that they didn't really have a higher education. They just normal people coming from a province going to the city. So whatever they can, that's what we have. So my dad is drive a jeepney, and my mom is entrepreneur. She sell things. She sell vegetables. She sell fruits. She sell everything that she could find to add some income for the family. We are seven. I'm the eldest. I don't conclude that all elder member of the family or can go abroad. It's a person desire to help the family, and that's the goal, to help the family. And if there's opportunity somewhere, that's a good way to have more, right? Because if you go other country, that means you will earn in a dollar sense is more in peso sense. But it's not easy because you have to go through the process. You got to have an agency, you pay the price of doing all the papers, requirements before you can even apply, you already spend a lot of money. That's that's not really a common thing to have a lot of money and spend it in something that you're not sure whether you can go or not.
Yeah.
Because also you got to have education to understand what you are going into, right? So these are all necessary tool and requirements that you still educated at least in secondary or higher level, that the family have extra. They can sell a land or something they farm to add for the money to give to the agency because it costs a lot of money.
Okay. So let's talk for a moment about toolkits, and then I want to go back to what you said before. So one of the things that you want to get out there is a toolkit, right?
A toolkit, yeah, the toolkit as my project, because everybody has to start with the basic. Getting a passport, processing the passport, it has a lot of papers. That means you start with IDs, you start with the agencies of the government that you got to require papers on, police report, and those are not cheap. Uh, it may cost peso, but if you add it up, it's a lot. So to get a passport, also there's a process. And then after that, you go to the agency. You will sit there, fill up the application. They will say whether you are qualified or not. You will go for interview, and those time they have like a video that they take as you speak up and introduce yourself to the possible employer, and they will show that to the possible employer in the other company of the agency. So there's an agency here in the Philippines, and also there's an agency in the company agency company in where you're going as well. If it's Hong Kong, if it's Singapore, if it's Korea, if it's Japan, if it's Middle East, of course they got those agencies as well. So it's like a partnership.
So talking about toolkits, we know that a lot of unexperienced people want to apply to become an au pair or a caregiver. So, how do they know that this is a trustworthy agency? Because I've heard numerous stories about people wanting to go to work in a different country using an agency, and instead they ended up on a boat, and then family had to pay, I don't know how much more extra, and the job you were looking for isn't there. So, what would you tell people?
The to scout for the registered government agencies first. So
Mhm.
before we go for word of mouth, like, oh yes, the neighbor daughter go to this agency and she flew to that agency, and maybe you can apply to that agency. So it's just like referral but by mouth.
Yes.
But somehow within the agency there are crooks as well. You don't know. There are people who look for the novice, those who doesn't have
The
experience,
newbies.
those who is easily to be excited and easily to be lead by in a wrong direction. So that's why scams is in that year, many years ago, it's already existing. So I can say I cannot deny. Now it's getting savvier and savvier. So you first and foremost you got to see the registered from the government, because that is assurance that it's operating with license, and they pay a huge price to establish the company, to establish their agency. But
Okay.
that's that's the legitimacy check.
Hmm. Okay, so make sure that they have applied at by at the government. So they ask them. They have their references, whatever it is that you can find somewhere on a page from the government. in the Philippines at least. And then, of course, you want to talk to your friends, which brings me back to the original question that I wanted to ask you. So, do you know any friends from the Philippines who you still know who actually are doing the same job as you do?
Yeah. Those friends I have that follow me after many years, or maybe 2, 3 years. Some they go back already, and either they go to other country to try to experience those culture from other country, maybe start a family there. I have a sister that follow suit my decision to work in other country like Singapore. I have my second sister follow me there, and the number four sister goes to Malaysia to work as not a helper but a factory worker.
So, none of you are in the same country.
No, we all spread out.
Okay. So is each of your sisters also helping out your parents when it comes to finances?
During the time, yes, because for me to be the sole breadwinner is difficult.
Yeah.
The time the exchange of dollar to Philippine peso is big. That means it's not that ex like a lot. It's just about maybe 3 times more.
Yes.
So it's not enough to really support a family.
Hmm. Yeah, I totally get it. I totally get it. So I know that you used to have a family in the Philippines. And I don't mean your mom and your dad and your sisters, but your own children.
Mhm.
So, how about your sisters and your friends? So, did they meet someone in the country they went to, or did they already have their own family before they decided to go abroad?
My other sister went to Korea. From Malaysia, she go to Taiwan and then to Korea. She doesn't have a boyfriend at the time, so she met her husband in Taiwan, and they both of them moved to Korea at that time. My two sisters, the young ones who went to Japan, they did not have. They didn't meet their partner there. They already have kids, like small kids, because they're the ones who try to go marry early, and so they have little kids when they apply to Japan. So I am a single woman when I go out. I have a boyfriend, but my boyfriend decided to marry another woman after I spent 5 years without going back. So those are the effect of leaving families. Sometimes it breaks the relationship.
So, what was it like for you to make the decision to leave your parents, your sisters, but also your kids behind?
Uh, it's more than courageous. It, it's it's the desire to give them a very nice, good future. I don't know how did I manage to bear with it, but I live one day at a time. I did not see it like long term. I just, if I finish it after 2 years, then probably yes, I go back to see my family and then I go back again because I need to stand the ground, stand the gap to give them continue support them so that they could have food in the table and send them to a good school. Government don't give us support in terms of education, and other health needs of the family, we need to buy it. We got to provide it our own.
Well, I want to applaud you for having done so. I mean, I can't imagine, really not imagine, what it must be like to feel I'm the oldest one in the family. I need to take care of my parents. Of course, my sisters can do so too, but still, in order to actually be able to raise a family, you have to be somewhere else to
Mm.
provide them with income. And well, judging by the way you spoke about it just now, that must have been very hard. So, how many of your friends and people you know have been in that same situation and didn't expect to be away from their family for so long?
I think most of mothers, sisters who decided to really go and accept the work outside the country to be a overseas Filipino worker knows that they might not be able to see their family in special occasion, birthdays, graduations, funerals, Christmas, New Year, because our freedom to go back doesn't entirely depend on us decision. It also depends on the family we're serving. If they agreed and it matched their thinking of you deserve to go back because it's Christmas, probably that's the best employer you have. But not all is the same. Some are not. So that's painful. A lot of celebrations. We're not there. We are absent.
So, if we talk about the toolkit, I assume that informing the newbies, the novice, about they might not see their family and miss those special occasions is one of the things maybe high on your list.
This time might not be the high on the list, maybe secondary. But I think the freedom to go back because you're sick, that's probably one of the high in the list. Because even if you're sick, you work. You don't want to go back. I have a friend, she had a cancer of the breast. And the employer just sent her to take care of everything, bills and everything, but she couldn't go back because she was so needed in the family that when she decided finally to go back, she boarded a plane. In the plane, she experienced hyperventilation. She couldn't breathe. So when the plane landed, she go directly to the hospital in Manila, but she live in a faraway town, like 7 hours. When she arrived at the hospital, she stayed there for 7 days and she passed away. She
Wow.
didn't get to see her daughter, the only daughter she had, and her husband. She didn't get to see them.
Wow.
So that's painful. I saw the agony of her only child because she was a baby when she left. I couldn't, it crumpled my heart into pieces. Like, seriously, this is so much sadness, grief that the child has to bear. Embracing her mom, but it's lifeless already.
Yeah. 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 This is a very, very heartbreaking story. It's,
True story because I
yeah.
witnessed it. I witnessed it, and I don't know how they overcome it. It is traumatizing for a kid. I think she just about 10 years old when the mom finally decided, okay, this is it. Might not be able to see you, but I have to go back. And yet, I didn't get to see them together, you know.
Yeah. 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 It's sad that when she was finally able to see her mom wasn't alive anymore. So
Just
the good
that,
news, she could actually see her, but not in the condition that she would have wanted.
for
Yeah.
sure. They have a nice house. She helped build the house. But what for?
Yeah.
She forgot.
So if we look at the long term, how did the daughter grow up? I mean, was there enough money for her to be able to live on in, being able to pay the bills, go to school, those kind of things?
She was
Or did
very,
that stop the moment that her mom passed away?
I think she have a little because come to think of it, I don't think that most of her needs were supported by the employer. Probably the major ones, the medications, the hospital visits, and but some personal things, of course, is coming from her.
Yeah.
So she might not be able to have a big savings. She probably enter into businesses as well where she starts something, but because she passed away, she couldn't continue that. That's already a risk of not making it right.
Yeah.
So what I know is they have a house. The husband's still there, can work, but I don't think she got a lot of money left.
Yeah, that's a shame. So talking about the employer and you being at the house, and I don't know, maybe it so almost sounds like at the mercy of the employer. I hope that's not true.
It is
um
for most occasion. It is.
yeah, so they have one advantage, and you said it at the beginning. You have learned not to interfere, to make yourself scarce so people don't see you, to not speak up. And of course, those are very nice qualities for you to have for the family that you're going to work for. Um, I'm just saying it the way it is. If you speak up and you are a very bold person, I'm not sure if they would appreciate that. Is that true or
Well, because we are not about to demand it. We, on our part, we are scared to say that because it's no work, no pay.
yeah, yeah? It's
So
always about the money, right?
when you think about what you're gonna lose in exchange of having a rest or a good 1 week, probably summer, just finding your own strength and coming back with more vigor and energy. Sometimes they can say that, well, you also spend money there, right?
Uh
Why
huh.
have a rest here? Right?
Yeah.
Why not find have a rest in the corner and maybe come back after 1 hour or 2 hours?
Yeah, that's what they do as well, right?
Yeah, because you will lose the earning power. And are you able to accept the fact that you will have a month's pay with less money?
Yeah. Yeah. That's the downside. That no work, no pay.
No work, no pay. And it's very rare that an employer can give you more. There are occasions that they can gift you,
Mm-hmm.
but that is not all the time. It's just you can count in your fingers, right? Maybe
Yeah.
she dream about Jesus. Or maybe being generous today, and that's make her,
Yeah.
so in sharing money. But this is not. all the time happening. This is not regular. It's occasional.
Yes. So, how often does it actually happen that employers are willing to pay health insurance for you, help you when you need to go to the hospital? So, like with your friends here at breast cancer, would you have been able to have research done and treatment given in the country where she was?
She was, but you see, if also you are a foreigner worker, the amount of service you got is not 100%. They know already that you're not from you're not already from there originally, and so they can only give you what is supposed to be for you as a worker.
Oh, that sounds harsh.
Well, because they also have people that dependent on them, so they prioritize their people.
Yeah,
Then you could be there, you can be given, but you got to wait. They will schedule it. And the waiting time means if you are not so strong and you are already ravaged by a sickness, that means you are numbered, right? By the time you get this full attention from medically, you're already 75% or maybe, your chances of getting better is not already assured because your waiting time is long. Like,
yeah.
do it for a year, 6 months. That's a long to see a specialist.
So this is not just whether or not your employers can pay you to actually go there
Protocol.
or have an insurance, but it also has to do with the number of hospitals, doctors.
Yeah, and a protocol, the whatever the rules and regulations there concerning people, and especially with the worker.
So how much did you know about this when you left over 30 years ago?
I know personally how it was being conducted because my sister, she experienced. We were both in Singapore, Hong Kong. We're both in Hong Kong. So she got a pus in her breast. And so she was, of course, she was scared. What's that? And she needs to be seen thoroughly, right? But she was scheduled a year to really look for the breast. And the pain is agonizing because she couldn't sleep. She was sweating so much and she couldn't eat properly. I don't know what she's really been through because I couldn't really ask her personally, wow, why it's painful? What is, because even if I'm there, I couldn't help her. We are both serving other different employers, right? So I couldn't just leave my post and go to her, support her. We are
Yeah.
on each own. And so she decided she just better to go back home. I
Okay.
know she will miss some money, but she needs her body to be taken care properly.
Yes. Yes, that's probably a smart decision. And
She didn't.
going back to the story of your friend who actually prioritized the employer's family above her own health. Well, we now know how it turned out. So how does that work? Maybe I don't know if I'm asking the right question, but you have your own family and then you become part of another family. And well, I can imagine that, especially when you are around children and you help them, read books, grow up, whatever it is, that, they are part of you too. And you are part of their family, basically.
Yeah.
So, do you at some point just embrace that family because you cannot be and with your own family? Is that a comparison?
I think there's no really comparison. What happened is you pray that they will treat you as part of their family, because at least your stand will be good, that they will take care of you, they will feed you well, that they will uh, make you experience how to have a Christmas, a Chinese New Year, or those special occasion where you're supposed to work, but they will say, okay, no need to work. You just have to be, entertain our guests and just have a um, happy connection with everyone, our guests. So it's your no work, but you become part of what is happening, right? You can have money. They will give you money a little bit. Those Chinese New Year, they have this tradition where they give red pocket. So those are just bonuses, like, but it happens once a year, right? So when you're really treated well, then you can enjoy certain things in a way that you're not working. So those are bonuses. So they
Yeah.
can also bring you to other houses and be a guest there. So those are good.
So looking back on all of this and talking about that toolkit and about courage, of course, because the first day is about courage. What would you like to say to all the new ones out there, whether they are young or maybe our age? What would your advice be?
My advice is for them to really know what is their goal, what are they aiming for, because you could be staying in the country years after years after years, just living your life if you don't have a goal, a aim, right? But if you have an aim, then you cut short, right? Oh, maybe I just stay there for 2 years and then I will have a little bit left as a savings, and then I go to other country to be entrepreneur or to live there and not be uh, a nanny anymore, not the helper, but another kind of profession. Probably when you think of opportunity to study or anything like that, you could do that. Whereas if you just live day in day out, then you kind of have a comfort of be accepted and absorbed in the family, and you like it there, and then you feel like, oh well, I'm in my comfort zone, my own bubble. I'm okay here. Then that means you really didn't see that years pass by and your white hair is showing up already. And by the time you realize, my goodness, I might not be able to do that. Like, cross country, study or meet other people and do other things, right? So it happens to many
Yes.
to just to just accept what is good and be part of the family, be in the comfort zone, and just stay there until they are old and come back. They are already not able to do anything. That's what I say, right? How can you
Yeah.
live your dream after being a caregiver when you become so comfortable?
Yes. Well, it's interesting if you think about it. I mean, a lot of people never get to travel, let alone outside of their country. And now we're talking about people here, like you, for instance, who are like, okay, I want to explore other countries. Of course, it's also about wanting to take care of others because you said that has to be like a passion of you. But it's also about the traveling. And then the moment that you talk about studying, improving certain things so you can go to not just a different employer, but to a different country again and maybe do a different kind of job, that almost sounds like regular jobs nowadays that that we have to think about what do you want to be. I mean, back in the previous century, when I started working, I talked to a lot of people who said, well, you have one job for life.
Mhm.
And then when I started working and decades down the line, it was a totally different story. You were supposed to actually look further than just this employer and see where you could go elsewhere and invest in yourself when it came to education. So that's actually kind of similar, with the difference being you are like, okay, but I'm just going to travel to the next country.
Yeah, it didn't come as easy as I thought. My sister's the one who crossed over from Singapore to Canada.
Hmm.
And to think she's the meek one, not even brave enough to talk. But she did decided to leave Singapore after 11 years. After 11 years, I go back and have a baby of my own because I'm almost 35. The time,
Hmm.
see, I also in a comfort zone. I'm also in a bubble where I don't care. I am still young, but I'm 35, right? I'm not sure whether I can have kids. So I came back to realize that I would like to have my own children.
Hmm.
My sister didn't decide for like me because she wanted to just go cross over and take the opportunity to go to Canada. And in Canada, she met her partner. But I have a boyfriend back home.
Yeah.
That's why I go back
Yeah.
and reunited with him. It wasn't very easy knowing that there's a lot of brokenness. You break the relationship, you try to put it back again, mend it, but it's not always the same anymore.
Yeah. So basically, Mother Nature and the instinct to raise your own family made you decide to go back,
Mhm.
see if you could still hit it off with him,
Yeah,
and raise family. And then at some point, you decided to go work abroad again.
that's right. That's right. I am I'm teaching in daycare and also those preparatory like kindergarten. So I teach preparatory, kindergarten, and the babies, toddlers.
Hmm.
2.5, 3.5. So I teach those in preparation for the primary one.
Hmm.
So that I do within the community where we live. So it's kind of like under the barangay, which is the basic community government, the barangay.
Hmm.
So I teach there and decided that it's fun but it's a minimum pay. Sometimes parents cannot pay because it's within the community, and somehow my service is more of a gratuity.
Hmm.
It's more of thank you rather than they give me something the teacher needs to eat too.
Yeah. Yeah.
so, so I stayed there for about 2.5 years, I think, and then I decided no. My sister visited me and she said, "No, sister, you just have to go back and continue your journey as caregiver, as a nanny. I will find an employer for you."
Okay.
So I did.
So the fact that you did develop yourself, you continued on when you were back home, helps with the agency to actually find a new family to work for.
Mm. Yeah, my sister did, and then I just followed through with the requirements.
Okay.
By this time, I'm already 40 years old.
Hmm. So what's
So
it different for you to go on the second part of your journey, just to call it that way? So the first part was basically when you were still young, no family, and then
yeah,
second time around, you had young children, and there you went on your way again.
I have fear that might not be able employable anymore because my age is 40. So I am again competing with 20 something, 30
Hmm.
something, right? So if the employer have a choice, they could choose those younger ones, right? More energy rather than 40 having little kids back home. Maybe I need to go back time and time again, right? But I think I got lucky. It's just that the lady boss has an anxiety disorder
Hmm.
that makes my next journey a bit of on the edge, high risk.
Yeah. Well, let's not share too much about your lady boss at this moment. So it's,
I leave. I get hired.
yeah, yeah, I get that, but I don't know if they ever watch this video, so maybe we should keep it a little bit anonymous in when it comes to that part. um but having said all of this, we in the past we did talk about your target audience. And well, some say you want to know who they are, how old they are, if they're men or women, all those kind of things. And then at some point, Brandon Burchard said, well, I've got all walks of life, but the main thing they have in common mostly is that they want to get to the next level. And a lot of them are, what he figured out was, a lot of them are coaches, but not all of them. There are both men and women. So what we actually talked about was the difference between, say, adolescents who want to learn the language of another country versus the mature caregivers, the mature au pairs, I think they call it nowadays. So basically, their kids have outgrown them. They started living on their own, and it's like, okay, what I'm going to do next, because I might not be the youngest one, but I've got loads of experience. So share a little bit about that. What do you want to tell each of those categories?
Depends, because some family the decision lies in a woman and some lies in a man.
Mm-hmm.
If if uh, if the parents like a bubbly, young, energetic, then they will choose young caregiver.
Mm-hmm.
If a family has the mom is middle aged, she probably will lean on to more mature caregiver that can macro manage, like do two things at the same time, because sometimes the young ones, they don't really plan, they are spur of the moment, sometimes they just go and without. But the mature one can prepare dinner beforehand, before leaving the house, go to the playground, coming back, they have food already. While the young ones, they just decide on just leaving and then come back. We will just figure it out then. So there's a big difference there, right? With the
Yeah.
planning and looking for the next uh need of the family. So if a young family likes just the vibrant one, energetic, then they can have a young one.
Okay.
If if they wanted, the need is to organize the house, manage the cooking, of course, the Mature au pair will be the choice because they can also have a good sound decision in doing their job.
So when you said that you were afraid you wouldn't have a job, maybe because of your age, you now know that that won't be a problem because there is that people do ask about people
Mhm.
your or our age still.
Yeah, maybe I was just leaning in the way the culture of the Filipinos that when it comes to hiring, they don't really favor the old people. They
Mhm.
always want the young ones, fair skin, beautiful, sprightly, vibrant, energetic, because of the brain drain. That's probably it.
Yeah.
They don't know. Mature employee, mom or already mother can be a gem sometimes. Yeah. So it depends.
Yeah.
Family,
Okay.
family.
So going back to the Chicago Courage Challenge, so we didn't actually explain to the people why it's called the Chicago Courage Challenge. Well, I'll start by doing this. This is Chicago. I've got a shirt for every day of the week
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
when I'm going live. So this the Chicago Courage Challenge actually stems from me having done a number of challenges after I had visited Chicago. And I want to take people on a trip to Chicago, long weekend, show them around the city, and then also coach them. And I was thinking, like, okay, but I would have to explain why Chicago. Well, first of all, I love this city. There's a lot of architecture there that's very interesting. The people, all walks of life, they mingle and talk to one another. It's amazing to see how different it is. You can go through areas, and in one street it's they've restored the houses, and they look really nice and fancy, and the lawns are mowed, and then you go around the corner and literally run into the opposite things. um, but apart from that, I also made an acronym from the word Chicago. And that's, of course, what we are talking about. So for you, today is the first day when it comes to courage. For me, it's the second day, which is the H from Chicago, which is taking things to the higher level. Now, when I put you on the hot seat, how quickly after did you decide to actually go to the challenge?
Right after,
Wow,
I just
that's taking action.
think it. Yeah, when you said I'm gonna put you in a hot seat, I already been in a hot seat. I said, and I get to connect with you again for an update, and we talk about it, and then even the scheduling of the live, I didn't get to schedule it until 2 o'clock in the afternoon prior to the concert because I thought, well, she's right. I have to make it like a formal invitation to everyone. And I just go live by just barging in. Sometimes I didn't really, you know, plan it that way, but it gets better. It gets better. Two heads are perfect than one.
That's true. So, is this the first time that you have gone live or do a challenge? Share it with us a little bit about what you have done to actually share with people about what it's like to be a caregiver.
As a caregiver, I don't have a luxury of time. So last time when I was aiming for a change and I decided that okay, I'll be a coach, I didn't really think that this is going to be this far because some of the people I go in the beginning, I can see a number of them, but not all.
Hmm.
So it's your determination to do it every day. And I didn't really plan to be one, but I think now because with the coach Lady Lexi, as I go through her training for almost a year,
Over
and
a year already.
yes,
Every week,
that's
I
right.
have a group coaching training almost every week,
Yeah,
and so officially it's more like it would be twice a month, but I actually like it to do it every week,
yeah,
and so that's what we're doing, and
mm,
I like to challenge you.
yeah, and it sharpened the soul. Like for example, I wasn't thinking big, but as I go through it every day, it also give a boost or inspiration on what to do next. But when I was put in a hot seat, it gives me now to go to action because I always like, hey, yes, okay, today this is what I need, and I was just kind of perform on it. But with the challenge comes action and getting people to know my purpose. Why
Yes.
I'm here, why I'm always doing reels, and why I'm in the Facebook, right?
Hmm.
So
So
that,
I'm basically expanding your horizon.
yeah, stretching me a bit, like make me a stretchy frog.
Yeah. Aw. That doesn't sound too good. But when I said, when I was thinking about, okay, the products and all that stuff, um, I know people talked about it, like do it every other week. And at some point, I realized I like doing this every week. It feels good to do it. And I'm learning a lot by doing it every week. And, sometimes I give training, which is based on the CHPC training from Bread and Church. So I'm a CHPC coach, a certified high performance coach, which is about taking people to the next level, literally. And other times I mix it up with my own experiences and what I want to get across. And well, here you are now. And well, this was your first day of going live and talking about being a caregiver. So, of course, you were already in the hot seat, but it's nothing compared to today, where you actually shared part of the toolkit, which I do believe was, when we talk about courage, it might have been the most essential part of it all. So, what is it like for you to actually have stepped up and do this?
Partly, I'm excited. I wasn't thinking about other people's judgment. I think I own my thing, my craft. I being associated with a good coach, it helps you to see you are enough, you capable, you are um I am able, and I have experiences behind me that really support that. It's not that I come here with nothing. I'm here because I had a lot in my bag to show. I don't need to be certified because I've been to a lot of certification already. But what is essential, what is true, is how you come naturally to gauge yourself, my experience to others. Like, am I someone they can resonate with? Am I someone they can be a friend to tell their story? Because I can be a higher uh, caliber of anything, but I can level up myself to people that I cannot gain um, following from there. So I need to really be a fisherman to catch fishes.
Well, quite honestly, what you have been sharing with us about, you actually went abroad when you were still young, and of course, you've come back, you traveled on new families and everything, but there's so much experience on your end. And so I didn't even realize when I said, oh, I'm certified, that I don't think it's correct for anyone to judge you
Mm.
about what you've done and who you are. But having said so, they can actually experience and actually learn from everything you've done. So they are safe. Let's start with that word, that people are safe, especially the young ones. And so you can teach them, like, hey, what do you need to take in consideration? Because in the time that we've been talking today, you shared with us, like, what if employers are not willing to let you go,
Mm.
are not capable of letting you go because they need you too much. And you have to ask yourself, am I willing to go and need to find another job, leave the family I've been taking care of for a while or so long behind, in order to take care of myself? So, and also the educational part, and continuing on. So I have told you that probably straight from the beginning, you have your own treasures build up, because we only touch the surface of all your adventures, good ones, bad ones. But this is about you wanting to share with others what the journey can be like, and that sometimes dreams are a little bit different when it comes to reality. So again, I applaud you for actually now being here and talking about it. So what it's like for you to actually, so my goal for the challenge is to have you get out there, share your message, and just take people behind the scenes a little bit of, hey, this is what my life is like, or this is me being a professional, and sort of, no, not sort of, sharing your message with it. So what would be your number one message that you want to get out there?
You know what? Nobody can help you but yourself. We schools can teach us a lot about education, about, but if you just sit down and do nothing about it, then nothing will come out from it. You could
Yeah.
be selling mangoes in the street, and you want to kind of give your idea how to sell mangoes, and teach how to sell all the mangoes in the basket. You
Mm-hmm.
don't you don't need to be in a university, but you can share it. People can be believing that experience because they see that you can sell the basket of mangoes even without a degree in commerce. Right? So it's up to you. It's really up to you. I can have a good coach, Lady Lexi. If I don't do anything about it, that's gonna be just experience of being coached with her. But if I got to do something about it and incorporate it to my mission, to my goal, and to share to people that your dream is partly 100% your own creation, then I've done my part because
Yeah,
I
true.
to realize that too.
Yeah. Well, as a coach, then virtually I would whack you on the head if you don't do anything, and you know it, because I'll call you out. Why haven't you done anything? And I think that is what a good coach actually does. Challenge the other person to rise to the occasion, whatever that might be. So I shared a little bit about your toolkit, because at some point when we were talking, you said, I want to get that toolkit out there. So basically, when we talk, as in going online and people being able to find you, you want to show something like, okay, this is what I've got, this is what I know. So, what is it like for you to share about the toolkit?
Toolkit is like Dora the Explorer is having a backpack. Toolkit is like a backpack of Dora the Explorer because everything you need a toolkit. First and foremost, to come out from the country, you need those documents. Second of all is to know uh, if you have a very close family member, friends, or someone in contact to the country you're going to. So at least there's someone to hold you and hold you not to be scared, and you got to back up, and you got a little bit of money as well to start with for that because you need to eat. Some people don't, or employer don't really give you right away what you really need unless you got to stay, for example, for a period of time, maybe a week to the agency. Then you need something to really support yourself, and you can be as in a sorry state of just asking for a favor if you don't have anything really prepared. So those are
Yeah,
important. The agencies that will um, help you in case there are really challenges. It's difficult for you to do it by yourself. So you need assistance.
yeah.
So those are important.
Okay, so basically, you have taken what you want to get out there to the higher level. You went to Facebook today, you went live. We tried to go live to get on Facebook, that didn't work, but that's part of the whole challenge, of course. It's learning what works, what doesn't work, and when it doesn't work, how can I make it work? And when we talked about what you said, you can sell mangoes, for instance, or you can be a caregiver and you can go travel.
Yeah.
It's what you're doing is you are taking your life experiences to the next level. And again, I applaud you for actually being here live with me on camera. I love it. So, what would you like to say when it comes to both topics? So, for you today, of course, is the C from courage. You're getting out there, you're doing it. So, what does it feel like to actually, this is this just like the hot seat, or is it one step further?
I'd like to connect it with the book because I share the journey to authenticity, part of the story that I have for the 7-day Chicago Courage Challenge. So in the end, if the book is going to be out there by September, October, I'm gonna give those who attended my live a book that they can really start with, together with the memories we created, whatever tips and tricks we have shared. So I told them that this is going to be experiential. That means I'm not just the one who's talking, but I could give them a stage for them to share what they have they gone through as a caregiver, as a helper, as a nanny, as a au pair, as a sole carer of their family. So from there, I can create other things as well, but I will bring them where I am.
Yeah. Well, I think if you're as courageous as you are, having listened to your story, and of course, I know a little bit more than most people do, but just listening to what you shared today, I think you're a very courageous person. I mean, you decided to go travel, take care of your family back at home, your parents, and your little brother. Then, of course, later on, you had your own family. Still, you decided to go back, and now here you are sharing your knowledge and your experience, and you're doing it. And it's kind of new, but you're doing it. So well done, well done. So, talking about taking things to the higher, to the next level, to a higher level. Um, so I know tomorrow you are going to talk about taking things to a higher level. Is there something you got inspired by today, or what made you think about, oh, that's what I'm going to share tomorrow? Or
Today, what inspired me is we cannot settle for mediocrity, and taking things to higher level means even if it's just an inch, it's a cinch. Like it's okay to kind of level up one level up, one step up, one elevator up.
yes, yes, that's so true.
Yeah.
So if people want to subscribe to our challenges, they still can. So if you want to register for mine, go to ladylexy.com, and then in capitals, so slash, and then in capitals CCCF. So Chicago Courage Challenge for free, because this week it's for free.
Yeah.
If you decide to actually have it for a lifetime, you can still get a discount, but it's only this week. So for me, it's ladylexy.com in capitals, CCCF after the slash. How can people reach out to you?
I have a Facebook under my name. I have a YouTube under my name. I have Instagram, Blessed Coach Lily 2955. That's my handle. And I have LinkedIn as well under my name, Lilibet Nieto. And if you want to email me, lilibetnieto50 at gmail.com, if you have some concern about being a good and surviving caregiver of the century. And that's it. If you want to go join a challenge with Coach Lady Lexi, that's the best investment you can do for yourself, because you will you will reach a higher level to the top there.
Well, you said it. What makes or breaks it is how willing are you, in general, to participate and getting to that next level. So how coachable are you? And that's basically the question. So we have experienced day one where you've shared a little bit about your background. If they go to your Facebook page, where you did a live prior to this one, you also shared a little bit about what it's like to be a caregiver. So, what can people expect in the next 6 days? So, to give people a little bit of a heads up, so you already know the first day is C, courage. Today, for me, is H as in higher level, which is going to be yours tomorrow. Then there's the I, from being inspired and having an incentive to go further than you might have possibly ever thought possible. Then Chicago. So the next C is about communication. The A is for accountability, and then the G and the O. The G is for doing the groundwork, which you are actually also talking about when you talk about the toolkit. That is important that you actually know what to expect. And then there always going to be the overview. So actually, my goal is that you are more prepared afterwards, having done all of this, that you know, okay, the next time I'm going to do a challenge, or I'm going to promote the book, or I'm going to promote my toolkit out there, that you already have experienced what it is like, and that you can go back to the first C of Chicago, mustering up the courage to actually go to that next level again. So, what can people expect from you? So, I've already sort of shared what they can expect from me. By the way, I also, and you know it, I throw in some meditations in there and some PDFs. But what can people expect from you this week?
What they can expect from me is to bring them to a realization that uh, they can have whatever they want if they are willing to take it and get it.
Nice,
No
nice.
possible there. They
Hmm.
can be who they want to be. So that's what they can, because along the way with everything, if they really will follow through, it's impossible they cannot really see what is that they really wanted.
Yes, I like that. I like that. The possibilities are endless as long as you give it a try, and it's one step a day. Could be a small step, could be a huge step,
Yeah,
but as long as you take action, then something will change. And again, do you feel like this is a huge step? Because I think it's a huge step you just took.
I did leap a little bit there from the first floor to second floor.
What's it like on the second floor? You're going to
Everything
end up on
about
the
this,
seventh floor.
you feel accomplished. You feel good about that some of the fear you have is not true, right?
Yeah.
And you you're capable. You are really enough. I think that's true. You're a rock star. We are all a rock star.
Yeah, exactly. We are because we're both doing it. So, for those who want to join the challenge, whether it's Lilibeth's challenge or my challenge, or maybe the both of us, you know where to go to. Like I said, ladylexy.com/, capital C, capital C, capital C, capital F. And in your case, it's going to either your Instagram handle, Blessed Coach Lily.
2955.
Okay. Well, the moment that you have Blessed Coach Lily, you already have the rest as well. And both your name, Lilibeth Nieto, on Facebook and on YouTube. So, is there one last thing that you would like to say before we end this live?
I'd like to say thank you. I'm so honored to be part of this uh, Chicago Courage 7 day challenge, 6 day challenge for you because you already started yesterday. And I would like to encourage everyone to try, because if you don't try, you will remain the same.
Yes, yes. Yes, and I know that there are people who are very frightened when it comes to change or very uncomfortable. And I totally get that, being a neurodivergent. So I'm a little bit different when it comes to my reactions to certain things. But having said so, and I completely lost my train of thoughts. Yesterday the same thing happened, and I can only think, oh, that is because I had, I had the anesthetics yesterday. So
Yeah.
it's like my brain is a little bit. So I'll probably get back to it. Um, but yes, if they want to sign up, they can still do so on my end. They can still do so on your end, and yeah, like you said, if people are willing to do the work, then change can happen. So that's good.
Yeah.
I totally love that. So, one more thing to close up.
I'll see you there. It's up to you. We're just opening the firecrackers here.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So, well, don't be afraid. Just go there, and I'll make sure that this is going to be visible on Lily's YouTube channel too. Well, that is, I can only give her the video, the data, and then she has to put it on there. But we're going to see how that's going to work out. So again, kudos for having done this. I sincerely hope that a number of people are actually going to follow your lead and no longer wait taking action. I know there are a lot of people, entrepreneurs out there actually, you do want to do certain things but don't know how to do it all, and then they get stuck and it stops.
Yeah, it's normal though. I've been there, and all the time, Lady Lexi will like push me out there. I, I've been sleep. I've been snoring a lot. Believe it, because I'm normal person. I'm snoring a lot. I'm lazy sometimes. I procrastinate. These are not normal. But you see, if you just follow through, Lady Lexi will pick you up there and then say, "Hey, shake it up a little," and say, "Hey, let's go, let's go."
Oh
So
my god, this is so funny. That's going to be snippet on both our Instagrams.
yeah, let's go, let's go. There's nothing to fear. Just do it.
Yeah, that's so true. Just do it. So, well, again, thank you so much. I don't know, maybe we can do something similar tomorrow if you want to.
Let's
And otherwise, I think this is a good start for people to see what you are about, also what I am about. So, if other people ever want to be interviewed, then, I
yeah.
like to do that stuff.
Absolutely. You know what? Uh, I tell you a secret. This is prior to meeting Lady Lexi. I see her and I said to myself, I want to be coach with her. I want to know this lady. But you see, it's just a thought. But now, look, we're doing something which is for the
Yeah.
benefit of the many that was thinking, oh, I hope to do it with her. Please
Yeah.
do so. Please do so, because that's the beginning of your journey. Never know where you're gonna be.
No, that's so true. And to share a little secret, we met up at Evan Carmichael's training.
Yes.
So actually, I met and danced with Evan Carmichael
Oh,
at Brandon's event. I think it was 2019, and I couldn't. I still was only able to use a foot and a few toes. So I was sitting there literally in the hallway, and he was looking at me. Does she want something from me? She's standing in line, but she's sitting on the floor. And then, because he's a little bit of an introvert too.
yeah.
So, and then I got up and I said, you were talking about the things that you want to do, and I realized on my bucket list is actually that I want to dance. And I'd seen him with one sleeve, and I was like, why is he wearing one sleeve? Because he was introduced as a YouTube expert. And then I learned that he actually had a dance school, and then he danced this also with me. And then he said, I don't believe in bucket lists. So there I was, and he is a good leader because, like I said, I didn't have any balance. I could only use one foot and a few toes, and we
Yeah.
still did dance. So, and that's how I actually got to sign up, because I was like, hey, there's someone who knows something about YouTube, and I want to know about it too. So, and then he actually challenged us to do collaborations, primarily on Instagram. And from there on, the ball went rolling. We talked to other people. Zen, one of his, how shall we say it, his right hand man, was going live, I think, 3 times a week. And he said, I'm going to do it for the next 9 months, I think that he said. So he did it. He went live 3 days a week. and he wanted to know what it was like, and then others start doing so too, and then we visited one another's lives. So yeah, that was kind of cool. And then when I went to Chicago, I actually just stopped doing it. And then when I got back from Chicago the year after, I actually got to pick it back up again.
That's
So
right.
that's
So what we're telling here is that it's a process. It's not like kind of like, it magic. But if you start right now, then of course it will lead you to the direction that you want to be, because you get to be sharpened every day, sharpen, 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 and then you become better and better and better and clever and clever and clever. So
yeah, that's so true. That's so true. Yeah, I couldn't have said it any better, but that's true. It's, I've shared this a couple of times. I think you know it too. When I started out, it was just with the digital camera. We didn't have the phone to look into. Cameras weren't that good on the phone. So, and then later on that changed. And now, I'm using the iPad, and some might say, why are you using an iPad? But, technology is good enough nowadays. And it's not about perfection. It's about actually getting it out there. So, yeah.
thank you so much. I truly, truly grateful for this opportunity to be with your live in StreamYard. This is a new tool. I didn't know about this, but
No, you don't.
be here exposed with your community. It's an honor on my part, and I truly, truly thankful for this time.
Well, I want to thank you too for being so open and also very vulnerable. It was a very emotional story, especially in the beginning, and it was really heartfelt. And I wouldn't be able to show people what's going on if there's no one willing to get out there and actually show, like, hey, I'm going to do it. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. And we'll talk again soon.
For sure. Thanks. Bye, everyone.